It's not different a day later. It was tough right away. It's been tough in some ways, but we knew this day was coming. And like I said in press release and the newspaper article, it's sad. It's a really big decision to make, and it's sad in that way. But it has to be, like, you got to do it. It's best, what's best for our kids right now. I only got one chance to see my kids in high school, and with Anna being a senior, I spent a ton of time, put a lot of time into coaching, and I've missed all this stuff with my kids. So that makes it a little bit easier. Like with Anna being a senior, I don't think I've ever seen more than 3 of her high school basketball games in a year, or volleyball games. So we miss a lot, and
so you were mentioning that, like, tonight you got daughter versus daughter. I mean, you kind of mentioned it yesterday. Like, if you were coaching, you wouldn't get a chance to see it tonight. So I guess while it sucks that you're not going to be coaching SFU anymore, just the feeling that you get to go tonight and see both your daughters play basketball.
Yeah, that's it'll be emotional. Like, I was able to see them play in December. I think I've seen them play one time in the last couple of years. I was lucky to see a volleyball game. This will be emotional, and it's going to be a senior, so they won't play against each other anymore. So it's one thing being able to watch your kids play, but even then during the season, with them being at 2 different high schools, you only get to see one at a time usually. So this is important, just to be able to watch them play. Like, it's we won't have that time back. I may coach again in the future, but I'll never get a chance to watch those 2 play. This game tonight. There's some things with my kids that some health issues that we haven't really wanted to talk about publicly, and I've also had a lot of stress-related. I've had some health issues. Like, I'm diabetic, and I've had chest pains, and going back 3 years. So it was a combination of those things. So coming back from that road trip at Baylor, just kind of a combination of that, like my health, the things with my kids, and it's it's been good. Like, we're all in a much better place now, but it's a tough decision. It really is, and it's really tough. But right now, things are really good now. Like, my kids are happier and healthier, and I'm a lot healthier than I was just a couple months ago also. So,
have you talked to your girls at SFU? Have you had a chance to speak with any of them since you last coached them and since the announcement?
Yeah, they've reached out. Like at Christmas, Merry Christmas, Coach. We hope everything's going well. After the announcement, I've talked to a couple. Most of them. Most of them have reached out to me. It's good now. I think now with everything being finalized, I think it's now I'll be able to talk to them a lot more. I really didn't. You don't want to have too much communication, because I don't want to be a distraction to what they're trying to do now. They're in school. They're trying to build a new program, go through the season, and any, I felt like communication with me could kind of hurt what they're trying to build as a team now. So now that everything's finalized, now I'll be able to talk to them, individual players more.
Right, but these are the girls that you recruited to St. Francis. So how hard is it to not have any communication? Because as a coach, you go into those living rooms. You're like, your daughter's going to be with me for 4 years. You can trust me, and it's circumstances change and whatnot. But the fact that you can't check up on them, and it's tough. Like, how hard is that for you?
Yeah, that part's been tough. But it's not like no communication. I've been able to just supportive. if I find out somebody's been sick or something, just check in, just see how you're doing, and just tell them we'll be able to talk more toward the end of the season when things get when things are settled down, and that part is because I mean they know I love them, and and they've reached out to me also, like I think they miss me being there at times. I don't know, coaches, you always have sometimes they like you, sometimes they don't. But it's like I really enjoy this this team. I really loved like what we had. Made it in that way. It made it tougher to step down. But I've put the St. Francis team first for like 10 years over my own kids. Like I would miss vacations and miss games and do things, and I missed a lot of stuff in my own kid's life to put it into the people at St. Francis. So I think they'll understand. I hope I'll see them at senior day, and I think they're doing good. I think they'll have a great season, and they're great people. I brought them to St. Francis for a reason. The players, like I love them. They were a lot of fun. So.
What will you miss about coaching, or coaching them specifically?
Oh, seeing the end of the seniors' career, that's really tough, and just the opportunities that we had, like when we would go in and we would play games, like there was something you never knew what you were going to see. We could have a bad game and move on from that, or we could see something really special. So there was always an excitement and a kind of an adventure going into a game, like what might Jess do or Courtney do next, or or like Haley Thomas and Carson Swager, and these players are having they're having a great year so far. It's good to see them continue to improve. But every coach, I think when they walk away, I think they miss like the relationships, the practices, the locker room, the travel, like all those little things. And a lot of these relationships go into, not just coaching, not X and O stuff. It's your daily interaction. When we're in with a college team, we spend more time, all the coaches, all the players, especially the coaching staff, but we spend more time with each other than we do with our families. So when I'm not home at dinner, or I'm not at breakfast, or all the little things that happen when you are a family, when you're around your kids, I think young people learn so much just by it's not like what you tell them, it's what they observe, and all the little interactions. And I'll miss that, and I'll miss that at St. Francis, because St. Francis is a special place. Like it's just a lot of great people, and to see the growth in our players, especially because I'm closest to them, but to see how so many of them have grown, from the time that you recruit them to the time that they're seniors and leaving. I'll miss that part a lot. So, when
you took over the program, could you have imagined the success that you would have had you reached the goals that you wanted, or how close did you get?
I got very close. Imagine the success. When I took over, I knew it's a hard place. We had a lot of success when I was an assistant, with Susan being the head coach. Like we had a great 4-year run, and then taking over as a head. Yeah, there's a part of me that, if you're coaching and you don't think you're good at it, then you shouldn't be doing it. So I expected to, be competitive and be close to winning every single year. I didn't try to portray that or project that to everybody, but yeah, I did want to build a program that was competitive at the top of the conference every year, and then when I went to the up-tempo playing style, then at that point we were trying to do something that was different across women's college basketball, just to help in kind of the recruiting process to be successful, but to also make a mark and to make St. Francis something that people would hear and think positively about. And you know, I would have liked to have won another ring or two, but we did most of the things that I wanted to do and the goals we set for kind of the program and you know, how we treated players within the program, how we treated people in the community, and the entertainment we provided. I got really close to what I wanted to do there. So,
if you could ever be a revisionist historian,
yeah.
would you do anything over again differently?
I love the Revisionist History podcast, by the way. So, you know, reading Malcolm Gladwell stuff. I enjoy that type of stuff. Really, the only things I would like to do differently would have been to do better prioritizing time, to be able to spend more time with, you know, some of the relationships that would be important. So, you know, you always want to do more for your current players or former players to help in any way that you can, and then my kids. But as far as like the way we played or anything basketball wise, I wouldn't change that. Like it was risky, but you know, 3 years ago we were four seasons ago now, I think we finished dead last in the conference, and you know, if things didn't change, I was going to get fired. So I decided to take a chance and try and do something different. So, you know, I love the way that we played and the, you know, the people we had in the program. So there's you know, that part is a good feeling because I can sit here and know that you know, I really did the best job I could. And the only things that I would like to have done better are more personal related, you know, than anything, you know, basketball wise or competitively.
And we may have touched on this a little bit before, but how hard were the last couple of months deciding what you wanted to do, talking with your wife, talking with your kids, and ultimately coming to this decision?
It's really, really a difficult thing because I love coaching and I loved everything about being at St. Francis and doing what we were doing. You know, eventually you have to look at you got to look at your kids, and you know, I'll look down one day and my kid's going to college in a couple months, and I haven't been around her since, you know, back, you know, 14, 15 years, and then the younger ones. So you just miss so many of those things. And two of my kids have July 8th birthdays, which is during the recruiting season. This is the first time that I've been home or that I've been with them on their birthday. And that's because my daughter was playing at an AAU tournament and I was able to be there. So you just miss so much of that stuff. So it's a very, very difficult thing to do when you love doing something. But you know, I think a lot of coaches do this. You put so much into coaching and the program and all the people in the program and trying to win and trying to be successful and chasing that. And I don't think it's uncommon where I think a lot of coaches, you know, you wake up one day and I put all my energy over here, and you know, now my kids are gone, and it's very difficult because you love two things, and I had to make a choice between, you know, I really had to come to a realization that it's, you know, I need to be home, you know, I don't. You know, a couple months from now, one goes to college, and then, you know, eventually, you know, they're gone in college, and then one day they come home and they're going to get married, and I'll have missed all that. So that's an important thing.
Will you coach again?
If somebody gives me an opportunity, you know, it's not, you know, I probably will, you know, in some respect, because. You know, when I was 18 years old, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a high school teacher and coach. So I'll probably do it again, but I got to make sure that everything is, you know, I got to make sure that I'm healthy, that my kids are healthy, and then, you know, and then you got to have the right opportunity. So, you know, So we'll see. I would imagine I probably will, but in what context or what location, who knows?
Outside of spending time with your kids and your wife, what is something that Joe can do now that he's no longer has to be recruiting and coaching year round?
Oh, well, you hear a lot, like coaches talk a lot about work-life balance, and I haven't done that. So the things that I do like to travel, but that does cost money. I like to read, and I've always been able to it's been reading, books and articles or basketball. So it's not like I'm looking to, pick up another hobby anywhere, but I do have the time now to be at our kids' games, and that's 4 or 5 days a week. Our children are playing, and and then the other part is seeing some of my own family. Like I have family, my parents and 2 sisters live in Washington State. One of my brothers is getting married in Los Angeles in June. And there are some of those things, a lot of those things I've missed also. So I would expect to try to, family, books, travel a little bit, find another job eventually, and really talk to family and friends that I have fallen out of touch with over the last 15 years.
We're not going to analyze the St. Francis team, but the fact that you were not able to coach him of Jess Kovacs' career, one of the most gifted scorers to ever come through the program, probably in NCAA history. What has it like to coach someone like that? You've touched on it before, but now that you see her career coming to an end, I mean, have you coached, whether it's here, high school, or your kids, have you ever had someone as gifted as Jess?
Oh gosh, in some ways no. She has some specific talents that are very, very special. But I hate to leave some people out, but Allie Williams was the way that we play. This whole system of what I do at St. Francis was built around her talents. She was great and had special talents also. Alexa Hayward was also on that team. Those two, and Brittany Lilly was a point guard. She was a senior when I took over at St. Francis. They had their talents helped is what I kind of built the program around and then recruited to. Jess specifically, she's done a ton of interviews in different places, and the cool thing about her was similar to Hayward when she came in, was that they were not recruited by anybody, and so when they came in, they didn't know what they were going to do in their college career. And seeing Jess coming in and then her development, and then the growth in her in her confidence level. So she had the skills, but as we were together for the last 3 years, there was also a confidence and a mentality that continued to grow in her. So those are the things. That's the thing I would take away from with the time with Jess. Both these kids who have done such special things at St. Francis. Even to my time as an assistant, the ones that have been just really all league performers. They've all been so competitive, but they've always been great people also. So, maybe we can talk about Jess more toward her senior day, but what she's accomplished on the national scale and a scope, I think is really, really cool. And it kind of mirrors what has happened in basketball, at the NBA level and all levels with a Steph Curry and the NBA and their three-point shooting. Jess last year took 10 three-point shots a game, and about 5-6 years ago that was unheard of. A great three-point shooter would take maybe 6, and you'd go 3 for 6. You had a great game. So the game has changed, and Jess has been a part of that at our level. So she's been awesome.
All right, last one. Now that you're free of coaching? I assume the wife is happy and making you work and making you get kids. Other than you being able to spend time with your kids, is she happy that you are able to help her out around the house, help pick up the kids and whatnot, or is she putting you to work already?
In some ways, I hope she's happy I'm around more, but she's been a single mom for 15 years. I haven't done like what most husbands do. I haven't been handy around the house, or a lot of those things I missed, and Sherry's taken care of all of that. So even being able to pick kids up from school and do things like that, I think that's a big help. It is a big help. She's been supportive, and she's had a tough life. So I don't think single moms, you have all the respect in the world for them, and unfortunately, I think I put my wife in a situation to have to do most of that stuff herself. So yeah, so it'll be good that I'm home for a little while.
Help out.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.